Hi guys, I hope I'm live in the right place. I'm just getting myself set up. This is a bit of a spare at the moment live and comes from me talking to people about the fact that I need to be less trying to do perfect videos and more getting videos done. So I thought I'd pop on live and share with you something on my desk that I've been creating. I was just trying to get and I am sorry, I am sick a little bit, so I've got a bit of a raspy voice, so I do apologise. Right, I'm going to move that because I can just see that's going to be a disaster. So if you pop on, do say hello. I've been creating with this suite of products, and if Jodie pops on and watches me live, she will see that I'm using this and there's copper everywhere. So I love copper. It's a new love affair of mine. If I had fallen in love with copper earlier, I would have had copper with my wedding in 2 weeks. I would have had copper everything. But the love affair came too late. But I've been making a few cards. This one's cased in the lovely Rochelle block. And I made a card with the baubles and some fun stuff. And then I just made this one just before with lots of sparkle and stars and copper. And then I made this one the other day. And I planned to jump on live, and I just haven't had time. I've been really busy at work and busy getting the wedding organised and everything. And I thought I'd pop on and quickly share how I put together this card. Hi, Christina. Hi, Sue. Sorry. I am sorry about my voice. I just can't keep... Hi, Lee. How are you? I just can't kick this cold I've got. I've had all these Easy Air and On Guard and all sorts of oils going, and I just can't kick it. And I get married in 2 weeks, so I hope that it's gone by then. So what I'm using today, the main couple of things, is these awesome, which I think are a must-have for everyone, these stitched rectangle dies. You get so many in the pack. Like, hi, Glenda, how are you? You get heaps. So I'm actually using, this is the third biggest rectangle, and I'm also going to use I've been good and put stuff away, and now I've got to find it, the Pretty Label Punch for a bit of background there. And I've also used one of the stitch labels to create this little layer for our sentiment, and I'm going to use the beautiful Christmas Gleaming stamp set. This one has 2 matching punches. There's a smaller bauble as well as this one, but we're not going to use the punches today. We're just going to use the stamp set for this beautiful holly and berries, and also some mistletoe berries, and the beautiful sentiment. We're also going to use, what was the other thing I was going to say? I'm so snuffly. We're going to use the beautiful Designer Series paper, and this is copper foiled, so my love of copper, and I have cut their strips to 3/4 of an inch. You could probably do them at 1 inch. It's up to you, this bit completely. And what we're going to do is something really cool. So I'm going to get right to the card. I've used some copper foil too, and I've just pre-punched that with the Pretty Label punch, and we're going to use that as part of our layering. So I might just, before I put these away, mount the stamps we need for that. And then, okay, so I'm going to talk about the measurements, but they are based on where you are, so whether you use metric or imperial. This is half an A4, or you can go half your sheet if you're in the US. That's 8.5 by 11. It's for your standard size card base. Hi, Vicky, how are you? So tonight I did a video for a training program I'm on, and I was talking about one of my goals to be to do more videos and less preparing for them and thinking they have to be perfect, because that's why I don't pop on as often as I probably should, because I go, oh, I'm not ready, I'm not organised. But you know what, I thought, I have got some kid-free time. My partner and my son are over at a mate's place, and I thought the house is really quiet. I might just pop on instead of watching Netflix and actually make a card with you all. So I've got a layer. This is a crumb cake card base, and I've actually also cut a piece of crumb cake. I think I'd go 1/8 of an inch smaller than the card base. And then I've layered this just for an insert for the inside with some Whisper White. My adhesive of choice is always liquid glue. I'm a liquid glue girl. So I'm just keeping the base really, really simple. And what I did on the inside of this one is just added one of the stars. And I'll show you that in a second. Hi, Anita. How are you? I love seeing your doggy profile picture. So cute. So I'm just going to stick that. I'm loving crumb cake at the moment, especially this Christmas season. I don't know what it is about it, but crumb cake and copper has me. So these are the brightly gleaming foil accents, and they are gorgeous. I've actually got several packets because I will admit I'm scared of running out of them. And that's what we're going to use today. So we just need a star. You get lots of shapes in here. So there's like stars, there's these beautiful floral, actually this one's a full sheet. These leafy patterns, and there's some little baubles. They're really cute. We're actually going to need 2 of these leafy ones as well. So I'll pop those out while I'm at it. Now, I think Facebook's doing funny things. I did encourage people to SHARE my videos, but I think if you say that now, you get like put in Facebook jail or something. That's what I'd heard. So please do that to my video if you'd like. And I've got to send out a whole heap of thank yous. Anyway, I am good, Anita. I'm a bit sick. Hi, Angela. I've got to reply to your message. I'm just under the weather and I'm so behind in so many things. So I'm going to stick this little star just to the inside, just add a dot of glue and stick that just there. Now I'll set that aside to dry for a second, and then we're actually going to do the same size as our crumb cake for our insert on the inside is actually going on the front of our card as well. I'm just making sure I've cut it to the right size. So that's going to be our front base. Now I've also cut a piece of Whisper White scrap. Now I've cut this. Now I'm using my grid paper that doesn't have measurements. Silly me. I think I've got, because I prepared all this and then didn't do it. So I've got to check what I'm doing here. So it's 4.5 by 3.5. So that's the size of this scrap. Now that fits perfectly with the 3rd largest rectangle. So what I'm going to do is actually fill this white scrap with our designer series paper. Now to do this, what I did was apply glue completely over it. You want to don't do too much, but get it all over the base of that. Now if we use this original card as a sort of a guide, I'm going to place one in the middle. I'm going to use the grid paper there. So how many do we have on each side? So I didn't use the grid paper last time, and I found that I probably should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yep, so that's about center. So I'm just going to, oopsie, line that up. Now I just mixed up the patterns, so you didn't want to go like 2 greens next to 2 greens. Sort of mix it up a bit where you can. Like there's 2 papers in here that have like a more vanilla-y base, so you probably don't want to put those next to each other. And make sure your baubles are facing up the right way, because I almost did that last time. Not so good. It doesn't matter if you don't get it perfectly edged up down the bottom here, because we are going to cut that. So now that we've got that like that, we can just trim off our excess. Now out of a 12-inch piece of paper, you should get, if you want to make multiples of these cards, enough for 3 of these pieces out of a 12-inch strip, so you can make them in bulk. Okay, so we'll set that aside. Now we've got our little piece we want to cut. So we want to line all that up. Now we need our big shot. I'm going to try and bring in frame so I can show you something. Hopefully it fits in frame. Look, I've even put some new plates in for you. I don't know how well you can see. Oh, you can see the big shots. All good. Oh, that's weird. I can't actually see the... Oh no, I've got to scroll down. Hi Megan, how are you? Anita, I am Yes, it's a great idea for using leftover scraps, Vicky. This is perfect for that. And this idea was totally cased from Stampin' Up's cards. They posted one like this using Free as a Bird. Anita, I am getting there. I'll be glad when it's done because it's a lot of planning. How are you going with yours? So now I've lined up my rectangle, making sure that we're getting all the pieces. But when you do the rectangles and cut them out in the Big Shot, the best thing I can recommend is putting the die in the Big Shot at a slant, because if you put it in straight, you'll hear a really big clunking sound, and you don't want that because it actually will bend your die. So we're just going to do it like this, and I'll just run it through twice to make sure that everything is cut nicely. And as you can see there, look at that. Isn't that fun? We've got like a beautiful edge, all with scraps. How cool is that for using leftover scraps? It's a really super fun idea, and that's all you're left over with. Look at that. So it's a super fun way to use paper and get some of that paper onto your cards. Like, we have such beautiful papers from Stampin' Up. So we want to be using them. Rightio. Okay, so getting onto the card. So I've got to remind myself because Kayla's naughty and didn't do this video when she was going to do it. Okay, so I have got a scrap of shimmery white. You do not have to use shimmery white. You could use thick whisper white if you wish. I'm just going to use my shimmery white because I really love colouring on shimmery white. Thanks, Vicky. Now I'm using my Memento Black, Tuxedo Black, because this is great for using with Stampin' Up blends. I'm hoping my partner doesn't text me while I'm live because he'll want me to go pick him up, and I'm like, no, I'm busy. Look at this. I've been cleaning my chamois and I've got pretty peacock all over me. I'll give you a sneak peek of something. I have been making all my wedding favours. We've got little M&Ms because my last name's Macaulay and my partner's Macready, so M and M. And then I heat embossed with gold with one of our stamps and added the pretty peacock and old olive ribbon. And I've die cut all the labels, and I can't wait to have all those for the wedding. So I have made all those, but I'm tying all the bows and doing all that and getting all ready because now it's like 2.5 weeks to go. It's all happening. Right, so now I'm going to use I was going to use the Mossy Meadow, but I think I might actually for this one use the old olive Stampin' Blends along with the Real Red. So I'm going to do 2 of these. Now I like to start with my dark, and I hope the lighting is okay because it is nighttime. We're in daylight savings now, but it's starting to get, it's still a little bit, it's like dusk here. So hopefully you can see okay. It's funny, I did a video on following through with doing my videos, and within an hour I'm following through with what I said. That's like a big achievement for me. So hopefully, now I'm going in with my light old olive to blend. Hopefully, being that I'm going to be away for a lot of November, I will still get some videos done. Hopefully when I'm back, I do come back and go straight back to work though. So we'll see how we go. But I'm hoping I will also be able to do some live videos from the Stampin' Up conference, because at the end of my honeymoon, I'm actually going to the Stampin' Up on Stage conference in Sydney. So that is going to be amazing. And at that conference, we get to see all the new Occasions product. So I'm really super excited, and I'm keen to go to centre stage and see all my lovely friends. And I'm actually taking Declan to his first centre stage, I think. So that'll be fun. He will get to see the ins and outs of Stampin' Up. So now I'm going to... I'm an hour in front of Queensland, Megan. I had to think about that then, because I have, like, my rallies are in Queensland, and I had to think. But yeah, we're an hour ahead of you guys in daylight savings time. So now I just went in and added my dark Real Red, and then I'm going to go in with my light. I find some colours I go back in again with my dark. It just depends on the colour. So you can still see the dark, but I'm just going to go in and add a little bit more, just for some added detail. Now I'm going to go back with my... Oh, hi Sue, how are you? I'm glad you were able to catch me live. I love chatting to people live, and I love watching live videos, so I'm just a chatterbox when it comes to live. It's funny because, like, I'm not I am a chatty person, but I'm actually more chatty online than I am in person. Oh, I don't know, actually. Maybe not. We all have our forte, I suppose, and when you're talking about something you love doing, it's just easier to talk about, I suppose. And crafting is definitely at the top of my list of things I love doing. So I'm just blending this out. I like to go in a circular motion when I'm blending. I find that it works really well. These hollies don't have a die or a punch, but they are pretty easy to cut out. So I'll show you in a second. Right, there's our holly bits done. You know, I really don't like that Facebook now, to see the comments, you've got to keep scrolling down. It doesn't automatically refresh. Facebook always makes so many changes. I can't keep up with it. I'll get there one day. But then when you catch up with the changes, they change it again. And you're like, oh, I cannot keep up. So we're out of the lines a little bit, but nothing wrong with that. Right, so I've done my little bits of holly. I just thought I'd do a little bit of a different colour than last time for something different. So I'm just going to cut these out. Now, tips with fussy cutting. I'm going to try and do this as quick as I can so you don't have to watch for too long. But I always move the paper rather than the scissors. I find you get a much nicer cut. And I like to, it's a personal thing, but I like to keep a little bit of white edge on mine. But some people cut right to the black line. That's really completely up to you and what you prefer. So we all have preferences, and definitely I like a white edge, but yeah, it's all up to you. Oh, I need, you know, top of my list when I get back from my honeymoon is I need to go get my eyes tested again and get some new glasses. So I am actually supposed to wear glasses, but quite a while ago, my son, when he was a bit younger, sat on my glasses and broke them. And at the time I wasn't working, and I just thought, you know what, I can get away with not having glasses. They were reading glasses, but now I'm back at work and I do a lot of computer work and all that jazz. And now I definitely need glasses because my eyesight's got worse. So yeah, fun times. Hi Karen, how are you? So I'm just cutting out these hollies. Are they called? They are holly, right? Holly and mistletoe berry? I don't know. Oh, holly berries, I suppose they're called, aren't they? I don't know. I'm not good up with the Christmas terms. I haven't thought too much about Christmas because I've been trying to get this wedding out of the way, and then I'll deal with Christmas. The wedding has definitely taken up the year, and I'll be glad to be married and be focusing on something else for a bit. I love my partner and I love that we're getting married, but it definitely is a stressful time. With all the planning and preparations and everything that goes into a wedding day, in between working and being a mum and all that. So definitely looking forward to a break. Megan, hi Karen, I am going to the South Pacific on a cruise. We're going to a few islands, and I am shocking, but can't remember which ones, which is terrible, I know, but it's like New Caledonia and what was the other one? There's a few, and we're just going to chill out really, and then we're going to stay a week in Sydney when we get back. Right, so before I do anything else, I'm actually going to wrap some twine around my little piece I made with the scraps. Now, what I like to do is measure out a bit for the end of my bow, and then I'm going to wrap it around a couple of times. And then I should really do these videos in daylight so you can have a bit of a better lighting and view. But today consisted of makeup trials for the wedding, and getting stuff done. Tomorrow I have another dress fitting. I don't think I've left enough, but that's all right. I have another dress fitting, and oh goodness, I had a hair trial this week too, and I've got a meeting with the photographer happening, and we had a meeting with the caterer. Just, there's been stuff going on galore, and I had work, of course, and meetings for work, and I am just a little bit worn out. Okay, so my linen thread is a mess. Yours should not look like this, but I've just tied my bow, and you can fix up the tails. I like to run the tails through my fingernail, although I've got fake nails on, and I cannot get as good of a bow as I did with my real nails. But you can get it to curl a little bit if you really want to. Now that's going to be popped up like that, but what we want to do is grab, actually, before I do that, just grab a scrap of Whisper White. Doesn't really matter about the size. I'm getting married on the 26th of October, Sue. So only a couple weeks away. Very exciting. Oh, Megan, eloping sounds. Yes, it does come in a roll, Vicky, and I love that it comes in a roll. Hi, Kylie. Eloping sounds amazing, and honestly, if I had my time over again, I would totally elope, but don't tell anyone. So I'm going to use the Delicata copper ink to do our sentiment. Now, the one tip I do have when you're using this ink is that you do want to get it fairly inky. You want to get a lot of coverage, especially on this, like a solid stamp. You want it fairly inky. So I'm just going to, and I don't wiggle the stamp too much. Just give that a good press and let it seep in. And then if you can see that, I'm going to see what I'm doing. You can see how shimmery that is. I love this ink so much. Now, just give that a second to dry. So I'll pop that back on. Now we're going to grab, I can't pick anything up with my nails either. It's so annoying. What I find easiest is to grab some glue dots. And then we've got this, which we're going to raise up as well. But we want to stick our holly to the back of our copper piece. Now I did them slightly different. So up the top here, stuck that there. Now I'm putting the glue dots on the right side of the holly. So we'll stick this one a little bit differently. Then we've got our copper pieces, which we're going to also stick in there. Probably should have done these ones first, but that's okay, because what we want to do is make sure we have it where we want it. So you can kind of gauge where it's going to sit. I might actually even, with the glue dots, you can actually move them. So they're not entirely stuck 100% until they've been there for a bit. So you do have time to move them if you wish. So that's roughly how I want it. So now what I can do with this one is now apply our dimensionals. And if you put the dimensional over those copper bits that we stuck down, they'll stay in place, so they'll be fine. Oops. So I'm just going to peel off the backings and chuck my dimensionals backings all over my table, and they'll probably end up on the floor and then traipse through the house. But I've got the cleaner coming tomorrow. No, I'm just kidding. She must love finding dimensional backings everywhere. Okay, so then we can pop this bit up onto our card base. Do you know, I've put my phone on Do Not Disturb so that calls can't interrupt the live. So if my partner does ring, he's going to wonder what on earth the phone is not calling for. Oh, have you been to the South Pacific, Sue? I've never been on a cruise, nor have I been to the South Pacific. So the only overseas place I've done is New Zealand. So it will be fun. And do you know what I just did? Lucky I didn't do it. We've actually got to stick our base of crumb cake down first, but I'll stick this down to here because it won't matter. And then I'll just use our glue to adhere. You could do a different colour than crumb cake, by the way. I'm just doing tone on tone because I love crumb cake. So you can order all of these products in my store, which you'll find linked to this video. And there's lots of amazing products, not just these ones, in my store. So now is a great time to get your Christmas crafting done, ready for Christmas. Now I put this one on 3D, but I'm thinking for this one I might actually just glue it. So I'm just going to apply some glue to our layer of crumb cake cut from the stitched rectangle. And then I've actually used some copper washi tape. The copper washi tape is from the Tags and More Accessories kit, but I just think it's really cute and I'm just loving copper. So I've been using it a fair bit. Jodie will be laughing because she is just like, oh my goodness, do you use anything but copper at the moment? So I'm just going to stick that down. And then, oh really? Which cruise line did you go with, Sue? Now I'm going to fussy cut my copper sentiment, keeping a white line. Just trying to be really even. Now with these metallic inks, you do leave them for a couple minutes to dry, otherwise they will smear. But after that, they definitely don't smear. And I think from what people have said, some metallic inks that we've had in the past did smear, and these ones definitely don't. I've done a fair bit with them now and I haven't had that problem at all. They are absolutely fantastic and they have been on low inventory because they have been so popular. So if you want the copper, the metallic inks, because they come in silver, gold and copper, I would definitely get in quick because they have been selling out. So I've just stuck that with glue. And then we've got these fabulous, whoops, throwing them, Star Designer elements in copper. They are just stunning. And so I'm going to use those. I find the Take Your Pick tool great for getting these off because they're already self-adhesive. So you don't have to worry about adding glue dots or anything like that. And I'm just going to stick 3. So just like that. Look, I've got 3 left. I should make another card. Oh, really? I'm going with Royal Caribbean, but I've heard Carnival's great. So that's pretty much the card. The last thing I did, which I realised I haven't done, is my good old Wink of Stella. I just added some Wink of Stella to the holly. You don't have to be too perfect with it. Just add some to the holly. And then I usually flick some on too, just because I love it. Love a bit of Wink of Stella and a bit of glitz and glam. So that is pretty much the card, and with a really simple inside. So they're really super fun. I actually think I prefer the old olive. What do you prefer? The Mossy Meadow holly or the old olive? You'll have to let me know. So that's a really quick and simple, easy card to do with scraps particularly. Like, why not do a whole heap and use up heaps of your designer series paper, and they're super fun. You could totally smash these out. You could get a piece of cardstock, like a A4 sheet, cover it in the scraps and cut a whole heap of rectangles out at the same time. So you could have tons and you could mass produce these cards really easy. So really super fun and easy card to make, and I hope you enjoyed a little quick Facebook Live from me. I'm hoping to sort of, when I make a card, cut out supplies to make another and then just pop on randomly and do Facebook Lives, and then hopefully in the new year I'll have a bit more of a consistent time frame where I do them regularly on a certain day. But I haven't had a chance to do that, and I certainly won't before the wedding. But I hope you enjoyed. I'm glad you all like the old olive too, because I think I'm the same, and I think that's what was getting me about this one. So I'm an old olive girl too. So thanks for watching and have a lovely night, and I will catch you very, very soon. Bye guys.